Hey guys, welcome to the Ramen Series Part 2. Today we're going to cover all the toppings, Tare, Aroma Oil, and putting your bowl together. In the first part we covered making the broth, so if you haven't watched that yet, be sure to go back and check out Part 1. Alright, let's get into it. First we're going to make the Chashu pork belly. To begin, grab a pot or Dutch oven, and we're going to combine half a cup of sugar, 1 cup of water, 1 cup of mirin, 1 cup of sake, and finally half a cup of soy sauce. We're going to set this to high heat. Grab 6 cloves of garlic. I smash it with my knife. This makes it a lot easier to peel off the skin. Throw that into the Dutch oven. Grab 6 scallions, and we're going to roughly chop them here. And we're going to pick out any pieces that don't look so great. Next, we're going to grab a shallot. We're going to cut that in half. You can keep the skin on. Throw that in the Dutch oven. Finally, grab a 2-inch piece of ginger. Peel that with a spoon, and finally chop it. Add that all to the pot. Give it a good stir to dissolve the sugar. Okay, let's prepare our pork belly. 2 pounds of pork belly is a good amount to work with. Grab some butcher's twine and tie them up to the best of your abilities. This just helps keep the shape of the pork belly while it's in the oven. Add the pork belly to the pot and make sure it comes to a boil, since it won't come to a boil in the oven. We're going to braise this in the oven at 275 for 3 to 4 hours. Every hour or so we're going to flip the pork belly like so. Our pork belly is out, it smells great, and now we're just going to scoop them out one by one. We're going to set aside to cool to room temperature, and then finally place it in the fridge to help them set. We're going to strain the liquid, and we're going to save this to marinate our eggs in. Alright, onto the AJITAMA eggs, or seasoned eggs if you will. So we're going to grab a pot of water, we're going to bring that to a boil, and we're going to slowly place our eggs in. Be sure not to crack the eggs as you place them into the pot. I boil the eggs for 7 minutes. This ensures the yolk is still a bit runny, but makes it a lot easier to peel the eggs. If you like your yolks a little bit more set, be sure to boil for an extra minute or 2. Prepare an ice bath by filling a container with ice and water. When the eggs are done boiling, we're going to scoop out the eggs and place them in the ice bath. This ensures the egg stops cooking. Once the eggs are cool to the touch, we're going to peel the eggs by cracking the shell. First against the table, and then we're just going to peel the egg as best as you know how. Next, once our eggs are all peeled, we're going to grab the marinade and we're just going to pour it into the eggs. Now the eggs are naturally going to float to the top, so what I do here is I grab a piece of napkin, fold it over a couple times and just place it on top of the eggs and keeping the eggs submerged. We're going to marinate the eggs in the fridge for 12 hours. Alright, onto the aroma oil. Here we're going to do a black garlic oil. Grab 12 cloves of garlic, make sure they're peeled, and you can finally mince them with a knife, or in my case, I'm just going to use a food processor here. Add the garlic to a saucepan and add a 1/4 cup of canola oil, or any neutral oil will work here just fine. We're going to cook this over medium-low heat, and we're going to stir constantly until it turns black, and I mean black. If you like some heat in your oil, halfway through the cooking process, we're going to grab 3 red Thai chilies, or grab however many you want depending on the level of heat you want. 3 gives it a good medium-low heat. We're going to finely mince the Thai chilies and throw them into the garlic as it's cooking. Now we're going to continue cooking and stirring until, okay, that looks about right. We're going to add our burnt garlic into a blender along with a 1/4 cup of sesame oil, and we're going to add a teaspoon of sugar and a good pinch of salt. Now we're going to blend the garlic for a good minute or so until it's completely pulverized. Then we're going to transfer this to a container and keep it in the fridge. This can last up to a month in the fridge. Alright, next we're going to work on our tare. This is the seasoning of the ramen. A good bowl of ramen always needs a good tare. Today we're going to make a dashi miso style. So to begin, get a cup of water and set that to a boil. Here we have a handashi stock, which we will add about a tablespoon to our water, and we're going to reduce this to concentrate the flavor. Here I'm grabbing about half a cup of white miso, adding it to my bowl, and a 1/4 cup of red miso. Next, we're going to add about a tablespoon of sesame oil, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of mirin, 1 tablespoon of sesame paste, or also known as tahini. And then we're going to grab a garlic clove and we're going to finely mince this with the microplane. And we're going to do the same with a piece of ginger, about 1 inch, and we're going to mix that all together until combined. The tare is something that you can really customize and make it your own style. You can add pureed onion, pureed red pepper, or anything you like. If you wanted to keep it a minimum, I would at least recommend some miso and some soy sauce. Okay, so here we have reduced our dashi to about half a cup. We're also going to add this to our tare and we're going to mix again until it's well combined. Give it a taste, make sure you like those flavors, and it should be quite salty. Alright, let's make some toasted Sichuan sesame seeds. This is totally optional, but if you want to do it, grab yourself a pan and get it quite hot. Now we're going to grab some Sichuan peppercorns and we're going to toast for 30 seconds or until fragrant. We're going to add that to a mortar and pestle. Meanwhile, grab some sesame seeds, and we're going to toast those as well. Next, let's grind up the Sichuan peppercorns. Once the sesame seeds are done toasting to your liking, combine that with the peppercorns. Let's get into assembling our bowl. First, grab your broth. If you had your broth in the fridge like me, don't be alarmed, but it's gonna look like jello. This is perfectly normal, and it's a good sign that you have a nice broth. Some of the fat has separated and formed a layer on top. You can leave this fat and just scoop it into your broth, but I'm gonna go ahead and scrape it off. Next, grab about 2.5 ladles of broth proportion per bowl, and we're gonna add that to a saucepan and set it to a boil. Here we have our Chashu pork belly from the fridge. We're gonna slice this thinly and set it aside. Next, grab some scallions, and we're gonna finely chop the green and light green parts. We're gonna transfer this to a bowl and set it aside. Alright, now let's char up the pork belly. Here I have a propane torch. We're gonna torch both sides of the pork belly. Now if you don't have a torch at home, you can always heat your pork belly in a hot pan, but be warned, it may pop and splatter everywhere, so be careful. Or you can place the pork belly under a broiler in your oven. Just be sure to keep a close watch. Let's assemble our toppings. Here we have our charred pork belly, chopped scallions, toasted Sichuan sesame seeds, some chili threads, our black garlic oil, tagarashi, and our egg, which I just reheated in the broth. Okay, let's assemble. Grab your bowl, add 2 tablespoons of your tare, and pour the broth over the tare into your bowl. We're gonna give this a good mix to mix it all together. So we're gonna add our noodles. Next, grab your pork belly and place it into the bowl, followed by your egg, some scallions. We're going to top it all off with some Sichuan sesame seeds and tagarashi. Finally, we're going to add a few teaspoons of the garlic oil and top it off with some chili threads. Thanks for watching, guys. If you liked this video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Kitchen Lab. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment section below. Happy cooking!